Okay, think about this for a second. What if you could get a picture of the entire planet every single day? Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? Well, it's not. It's the actual business model for a company called Planet Labs. And let me tell you, this model hasn't just put satellites in space, it's sent their stock into orbit, making them one of the hottest stories on Wall Street right now.
So the big question is, right? How does a company that basically just takes pictures of the Earth become a superstar on Wall Street? It's a really fascinating mix of, mind-blowing financials, some truly unique tech, and a huge, huge bet on what's coming next. So let's dive in and break it all down.
All right, so if you really want to get why Planet's rise has been so, meteoric, you've got to start with the numbers. And honestly, the figures we're about to look at are just staggering. They really set the stage for this entire story.
Okay, get this. A 267% return on their stock in 1 year. When you see a number like that, it tells you something loud and clear. Investors are absolutely buzzing. The market is basically screaming that Planet has figured something out, that they've found the secret sauce. But the real question is it all just hype?
Well, not exactly. And here's why. We're not talking about some fuzzy, maybe in the future revenue projection. We're talking about $690 million in what the industry calls RPOs, remaining performance obligations. A simpler way to think about it? It's money in the bank. It's guaranteed cash from contracts they've already signed. This is the solid ground under that sky-high stock price.
But here's where it gets really wild, the growth. That huge pile of guaranteed future money, it jumped by 516% in a single year. I mean, that's not slow and steady growth. That's an absolute explosion. It shows you that big-time clients, especially governments, aren't just trying this out. They are locking in Planet services for years to come.
Okay, so where is all this money coming from? I mean, what is the actual thing that makes Planet so incredibly valuable? To figure that out, we've got to look at their technology and how it creates this fortress of a competitive advantage.
It really boils down to one key idea, what's called the AI data moat. See, by taking a picture of every piece of land on Earth, every single day, Planet has built this absolutely massive, one-of-a-kind library of our planet as it changes over time. And this huge archive, it's the perfect fuel for training artificial intelligence. Their AI can learn to spot changes, see trends, find things that no human could ever spot. It's a library of data that literally no one else has, and it's almost impossible for a competitor to go back in time and build.
And what's so brilliant here is that their business advantage grew directly out of their mission. Their goal wasn't just to hoard a bunch of data. It was to make global change visible, accessible, and actionable. And in the process of doing that, they created the very data set that's now incredibly valuable for everything from defense intelligence to tracking crop health.
Now, the engine behind this whole data moat is their Dove fleet. And we're not talking about 2 or 3 big, clunky satellites up there. We're talking about a whole constellation, around 200 of them. It is the largest Earth imaging fleet in history, and they are constantly scanning the globe. It's this incredible scale that gives them that daily heartbeat of the planet that, again, nobody else can get.
But that daily wide-angle scan, that was just the beginning. To really unlock those giant government contracts we talked about earlier, Planet knew they had to step up their game. And that's where the next generation comes in, the Pelican fleet. And folks, this is a total game changer.
The strategy shift here is it's really smart. Think of it like this. The Dove fleet is like a security camera watching the entire parking lot. It answers the question, what's happening everywhere? The new Pelican fleet, that's the high-powered zoom lens. It lets them answer the question, okay, show me exactly where that thing is happening and show it to me right now. It's all about high resolution, on demand for the customers willing to pay top dollar. And this is where the pure genius of their business plan kicks in. They've created this perfect self-funding growth loop. Here's how it works. They go to these big government clients and sell them multi-year contracts for dedicated time on the Pelican fleet, a fleet that doesn't even exist yet. They then use that contract money to actually build the satellites. So their biggest customers are literally paying for the company's next big technology upgrade. And once it's built, that new tech benefits everyone. It is just a brilliant, brilliant strategy.
Okay, so this brings us to the real heart of the matter, the central tension in this whole story. You've got a brilliant strategy, you've got explosive growth, and the market sees all of this. What does that mean? It means the company's stock is priced for perfection.
It's a high-stakes, billion-dollar bet that they can actually pull it all off.
And it's not just random hype. I mean, the professional analysts are incredibly bullish. They're forecasting the Planet is going to keep growing faster than the rest of the industry, both in revenue and in earnings. So the thinking on Wall Street is that this isn't some flash in the pan. They're expecting Planet to be a dominant player for a long, long time.
But, and this is a big but, here's the catch. There's a potential gap between the price and the actual value. Right now, the stock is trading for around $15 a share, just floating on all this optimism. But when some analysts run their models to figure out what the company is intrinsically worth, its fair value, that number comes out closer to $9. What that tells you is that investors are paying a huge premium right now. They're paying a price that assumes everything is going to go right.
And let's be real, perfectly is a pretty high bar in any business, let alone space tech. There are some major hurdles ahead. Can they actually build and launch this brand new Pelican fleet on schedule? This stuff is hard. Can they manage the insane costs that come with this kind of growth? And what happens if one of those huge government contracts gets canceled? They often have clauses that let them do that. These are the very real risks that are hiding inside that premium stock price.
So when you boil it all down, it comes to this. The market isn't just betting that Planet is a great company. It's betting that Planet will execute its plan flawlessly. Right now, that stock price leaves basically zero room for error, for delays, or for any of the unexpected problems that always pop up.
Which leaves us with the real billion-dollar question, doesn't it? There is no doubt Planet has built an incredible data advantage, a deep, deep moat. They have a fantastic strategy to cash in on it, and they have the contracts lined up. But in a business as complicated and expensive as space, is that moat really deep enough to justify a price tag that demands absolute perfection? That's the question, and you can bet Wall Street will be watching very, very closely.